All right, thank you, Derek. It's time for Money Tuesday on Good Day Alabama. And if you're looking to improve your credit score, Stewart Welch of the Welch Group is here to help you out. Good morning, Welch.
Good morning.
All right, Stewart, let's talk about this a little bit. We have one reader who had a question. Says he called one of the credit bureaus to get some information about his credit and found out he had some issues to address. But then when he asked them specifically, and this particular credit bureau was the TransUnion Group, the rep would not give him enough answers. He was very secretive about that information. I mean, what's he going to do?
Well, I think it is kind of one big secret. I'm not sure why that is. I think they worry about people, if you tell them how the system works, that they would game the system. But there's some guidelines that you can go through, and we'll talk about this morning.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this now. There's ways you can obviously hurt your credit score as well that people don't know about, and we'll go through those guidelines as we discuss this. But just for instance, if you go shopping for cars, and they say, okay, we're going to give you a special interest rate, let's pull your credit. Every time you do that, it hurts your credit score, right?
Well, it doesn't necessarily hurt your credit every time they pull your credit.
Okay.
Every time someone does one. You don't want to, like if you're applying for credit and you apply a lot of times, that will hurt your score. But if you're like going for something big like a car, or you're opening an account, like at a store, that's generally not going to hurt your credit unless you're doing it a lot.
Okay. Now I get a lot of times in the mail, I'll get these balance transfer offers, and they're very tempting. Hey, transfer your balance, you'll get 0% for a whole year. We got to watch out for those, don't we?
Well, a lot of people will like rotate from one to the other to the other to the other, and what they're trying to do is actually pay no interest on an outstanding balance, and that actually will hurt your score.
Right.
And so you have to be pretty careful about that. I think one of the big things that people don't do that they should do is they need to get their credit report at least once a year, and they give you all of the three credit bureaus give you that free once a year, and you can go to annualcreditreport.com and get that. Now that's just going to give you credit history, and what you're looking for there is, are there any mistakes? You also need to get your score, because that will not give you your score, and generally you're going to have to sign up for, you can get it free if you sign up for a program that's about $16 a month, and the first 30 days is free, and you can kind of opt out before start charging.
Okay. And what about calling credit card companies to negotiate a settlement? Maybe you got a lot of large balances, and you hear people say all the time, maybe there's a way to work out some sort of settlement with the company, but that can be a problem too, can it not?
Well, in essence, what you're doing is you're saying, I either don't want to pay on time, or I don't want to pay the entire balance. So essentially, you're doing something that is less than what you promised to do, and that is going to ding your credit for sure.
What are some other guidelines you talked about that people need to watch out for?
Well, I think on the positive side, you want to pay your bills on time. That may sound obvious. And I think another one that's not, it seems obvious, but a lot of people don't get this, is you want to get a credit card and you want to get an installment loan. So in fact, in order to get a good credit score, you actually have to get credit and use credit. So a lot of people think, well, if I don't have any credit cards or anything, my score is going to be great. Your score will be terrible because you actually have no history. So you want to get that done, and then utilize, here's one nobody knows, underutilize your credit card. So for example, if you have a $10,000 limit on your credit card, you want to keep your charges and balances under 30%, under 10% is better. So you don't want to charge more than about $3,000, because if you start charging like $8,000 or $9,000 on a $10,000 limit, that will actually ding your score as well.
My rule of thumb, you charge something, you better be able to pay it off that month. That's the way I look at it.
That is an excellent way to go.
Stewart Welch of the Welch Group, always a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.